Hello Aquarius, and welcome to your in-depth monthly horoscope for October for the Sun or the Ascendant. I'm going to give you an overview of the major strands influencing your situation this month, and then please stick with me because I then will go into much greater detail. The big news is the Sun, Mars and Mercury are all in your sister air sign of Libra. Mercury is tracking backwards through till the 18th, so care will be needed around any travel plans. If you're posting anything, if you're thinking about a higher educational course, then there can be some issues that you need to pick through. But the Sun's combination with Mars through to the 17th is going to give you an enormous appetite to take on challenges. It could also see you being a lot more spontaneous. Now, the sign of Libra is, of course, about finding balance, but the ninth house can be to do with contracts, legal matters, all these kind of things, and your desire to assert your side of the situation is going to be strong. But what's also going to help you this month is that Saturn, your traditional ruler, and Jupiter, both located in your sign at the moment, are ending retrogrades and starting to go forwards. And also, Jupiter is forging a broadly collaborative link with Pluto, also going forwards on the 6th. And the things you've been working on for some time behind the scenes, whether it's your personal development, whether it's your understanding of more psychological strands, whether it's been on a creative venture, whether it has been on a business, they can really start to manifest in a much more positive and outgoing way. So that's really, really exciting. Now, before I go on, if you've yet to subscribe to my channel, I'd be honoured if you would click or tap on the bell notification symbol. And if you'd like to get your free daily horoscope fired to your device each morning, you can do so by subscribing on the link beneath this video. I've written daily horoscopes for about 27 years, and my work is used in Britain's most read daily newspaper, the Metro, but I also provide content for platforms all around the world. I think it makes me a little bit different to some other YouTube astrologers who don't write their own content. So please seize the opportunity to get yours. And with year 2022 racing up, if you want to order your personal forecast for next year and do so now, you can get the rest of year 2021 free, plus a character analysis, plus 30% off. Now this is based on your unique birth data of time, date and place of birth. It goes way beyond your Zodiac forecast and can give you searing insights to the opportunities that lie ahead, and crucially too, to where you can avoid some pitfalls. Please also see the link below. And if there is a legal matter outstanding in your situation, you may get the correspondence from that early in this month. But by the 6th, Pluto goes direct, so we'll celebrate that. Pluto's the planet of transformation. And for a lot of Aquarius people, the last years, particularly since 2008, has been quite a brutal journey at times in terms of trying to understand the shadow side of our natures, or there have been revelations about how other people feel about us, and not all of those have been very pleasant to process. However, also on the 6th there is a new moon. Now, new moons are often opportunities to set our intentions, and this one is about expansion, widening your horizons. That's why the travel energy fits well with this. But of course, Mercury retrograde suggests the way you go about it has to be with precision and great thought. But if you had decided to perhaps apply for an online correspondence course and then decide that the subject itself isn't quite what you want to do, that doesn't mean to say you won't still do one. You may just decide to do a different course, and that could prove to be very gratifying. So changes are possible, but expansion generally is very much to the fore, because this new moon also embraces Mars. But Mars could make you a bit more impatient, and if it has been a very frustrating time for you personally, I know it has been for a lot of people, all the rules and regulations, your desire to really go for it and not have to be answerable to, you know, a particular line manager or a particular person or responsibility or obligation, can be very life enhancing and uplifting. So if you find yourself just doing something, you know, quite spontaneously over the following month, it wouldn't be a surprise. But it is the case that this particular new moon also is in a tense angle with your modern ruler of Uranus. It's in a quincunx, 150 degrees. So that's the 4th house of security. So the 9th house is about expansion, rebelliousness in some ways. Sagittarius people hate being told what to do, just like us Aquarians. So that's very emphasized, particularly with Mars there. But there may be something around the home or an emotional situation which suggests it's not good to be too impulsive or rush to make a decision about something. And it could be linked to a property matter, just saying. But also in the first week of this month, Venus is high in the sky, and someone in a position of influence could be quite smitten with you and keen for you to make progress. In a romantic context, someone younger or older could show an interest if you're single, or it could be someone you encounter through work, or an existing relationship could reach a point of greater connection or contracting in a more formal way, because the 10th house is very much like Capricorn energy. But obviously with all this 9th house energy washing around the mix, you're not going to do anything where you can't be the truly free and authentic Aquarius that you are. So that is a balance to find. But then on the 7th, well, Venus moves into the sign of Sagittarius, which is brilliant because this is the 11th house for Aquarius people, very much to do with friendships. And guess what? From the 10th through to the 16th, Venus forges an extremely constructive link to Saturn in our sign. So I think that there could be some kind of meeting point, some kind of agreement reached, some kind of order created that's very agreeable and pleasing. That could be if you meet somebody new and you start seeing them during that period. This could be a keeper at the very least, because obviously Aquarius people are often focused very much on friendship. This could be a person you could always be friends with, or someone you can always have a rapport with, even if you don't end up being life partners, because the stability of Saturn anchors the more frivolous, flirty energies of Venus. But as I said before, on the 11th, Saturn does go forwards. And all those limitations which have dominated this year, especially if it's been right, for me at the moment, as I record this, it's right on my midpoint. So that's the point between the Sun, for me, at 0 degrees Aquarius, and my Moon, which is 11 degrees Aquarius. So the midpoint's about 7 degrees. So it's been reversing back right on my midpoint in the 4th house of where I live. And, you know, obviously, even when it goes forwards again, as it will, it's going to go back into that square with Uranus, squaring up with my Moon and Venus, and also Chiron, all in Aquarius in the 4th house. So, yeah, a lot of restrictions around property matters this year. But I think Saturn going forwards, wherever it's impacting on you, whether it's just on your Sun, whether there are other inner planets there, because obviously Mercury and Venus are often close to the Sun, or maybe it's your ascendant that it's impacting on, whatever limitation there has been, Saturn going forwards can be released a little bit. And then on the 18th, with Mercury going forwards and Jupiter going forwards, anything of a legalistic nature could be really resolved satisfactorily by that time, despite the fact that there has been this 9th house crunch energy. But despite that, on the 20th, there is a full moon in Aries, which squares up with Pluto. And also the Sun is squaring with Pluto for about a week. But because the energy of the full moon goes on for 2 weeks, the backdrop of energy suggests that something can still come out into the open, or your emotions can be amplified, because the 9th house, the Sagittarian energy, because it's governed by Jupiter, it can be about exaggeration, I'm not saying you're going to exaggerate something, it could be somebody you encounter. And the 12th house energy of Pluto is about the psychology. So something you would normally be very logical and rational about and shrug off could take on a life force of its own during these latter parts of this month. And the reason for that is that also Mars, still in the sign of Libra, which, you know, it is an affliction there, it's technically in detriment. I personally like Mars in Libra because I think Libran energy can be a little bit too keen to please other people. I've got a Libran ascendant, 23 degrees, and sometimes it's important to actually say no and push back a little bit. So Mars in Libra can add a bit of ruggedness to relating issues, and, you know, put in some fair boundaries which we all need to reinforce at times. Otherwise people just take advantage of us. But Mars and Pluto, they go into conflict from the 17th to the 26th. So if there is something of a psychological nature going on in your situation, something that might be quite an ongoing story could become quite dramatic in how it all comes boiling to the surface. But it's all part of a process of healing. And then on the 23rd, the Sun moves to the top of your horoscope, replacing Venus and moving into the 10th house. And it's joined by Mars on the 30th of this month. Now Mars is going to be in your sector of success through to the middle of December. So expect some big progress around key aims between now and then. But the Sun moving there is then confronted by the rather minimalising energies of Saturn. So if you've got big hopes, big ambitions, big goals, there may still be something in your personal situation or even a lack of personal energy which could just make it a bit more difficult to seize the moment. But it's a quick one, 27th to the 31st. And because this year has just been packed full of limitations, I don't think it's going to be terminal if you're really on course to something that you've got a clear methodology of how you're going to get to your goals, because the 10th house is very much about goals. It's about raising your profile, it's about gaining recognition for your talents, and that square with Saturn just means that you could doubt yourself, or someone around you could be a bit of a doubting Thomas, but go through it, because once Mars moves into the 10th house on the 30th, honestly, whatever you want to achieve, if you really put your mind to it, Mars is giving you enormous support in the following 6 weeks, because Mars, unlike Libra, is at home in the sign of Scorpio. It's in dignity. This is the very, very traditional ruler of Scorpio. Some astrologers who follow traditional astrology only talk about Mars as the ruler of Scorpio. Some modern astrologers only Pluto. I tend to use both. So Mars moving right to the top of your horoscope is going to give you a lot of drive to achieve recognition and success in the run up to Christmas. So if your year so far, like mine at times, has had its challenges and limitations, and you've had to keep going under some difficult circumstances, nervous energy has been a bit, you know, of an issue, I do feel that there can be an improvement this month, and there can be an expansion. You just need to watch out for the pitfalls that could come up. And, you know, on any kind of legal matter, I wouldn't over assert your position. It's important for everyone when the Mercury, the Sun and Mars are in conflict with Pluto. It's important with everyone through the prism of ideas. Mercury, energy, the Sun, and passion, Mars, not to demand too much on their terms. We all need to keep a sense of proportion, and that's something that Aquarius people generally have in spades. Now, another thing to tell you about, all through this month, Jupiter is in a semi-sextile with Pluto. So Jupiter in your sign may be in retrograde until the 18th, but it is broadly in a very collaborative angle with Pluto. So keep investing in learning more about what makes you tick, but still keep evolving as an individual and finding your emerging reality. Because for a lot of Aquarius people, certainly 2 years ago when there was the big collaboration of Saturn, Jupiter and Pluto, was a really tough time. And now things are becoming more clear about those deeper patterns that have been manifesting at the back of your situation and mine for years, and Jupiter's saying keep having hope on what you're becoming, because it is going to be brighter and better. And once Pluto moves in 23 initially, 24 full time into Aquarius, that will be the proper age of Aquarius. Thank you so much for joining me. It's been a real pleasure being with you. Good luck, take care, and goodbye.